I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting to see you again. It's the honest truth. Somehow he brings out the worst in me, but I can't stop staring at his eyes and wondering what would have happened if I'd said yes to a date. That's in the past. I'm angry with myself for even having these thoughts, but he's right. We need to focus on the kids. I wasn't expecting to see you again either, Harrison, or find out you're married, but here we are. What? What? I'm not married, I say. His smile changes in a heartbeat. You're not. I shake my head. I was at a bachelor auction. You do know the definition of a bachelor. You said your friend put you up to it. Why are we talking about this? I ask. He takes a slow step back. It doesn't matter. Can I have your number? He asks. He must see my confusion because he adds, so we can arrange a play date for the kids. Oh, right, yeah. Of course. I pull out my phone and unlock it, giving it to him. He puts his number in and then calls his own cell. His finger brushes mine when he hands me the phone back, making the little hairs on the back of my neck stand to attention. And not in a bad way. Why do I feel like trouble is around the corner? A scream coming from the room gets us running back in. No! Megan screams as a blonde-haired kid stares at her, looking terrified. George. Ellis is already right next to the kids by the time we join them. What happened? Fletcher asks, kneeling on the floor. George runs into his arms, hiding his face against his dad's chest. George took my book, Megan says with an accusatory tone. Megan. I crouch to her level and she comes over to me. Is that really the truth? She looks down at the book in her hands and her face goes a little pink. Just as I thought. My eyes meet Fletcher's, but he pulls his gaze away. So, who do we have here? I don't think we've been introduced, I say, hoping to sound gentle enough that George will look at me. When he does, I can't help smiling over how he's the spitting image of his dad, minus the long hair. I'm George, he says shyly, but everyone calls me Gigi. Nice to meet you. I'm Harrison. I stretch my hand out. George looks at Fletcher for permission. When his dad nods, he shakes my hand. I was trying to help Megan, he says. I don't need help, Megan says. I'm sorry. I was trying to make up for pushing you too high. Megan doesn't acknowledge George's apology, which is disappointing. I know she probably wants to think it through in private, but I can't leave the room without the kids clearing the air between them. Honey, it sounds to me like George is apologizing to you, I say. But I didn't like it when he pushed me too high. I was scared. I'm sure you were, but I don't think George did it on purpose. Maybe. She stares down at the book between her hands for a moment before she looks at George. Do you want to play with me tomorrow? She asks. George beams and pushes away from his dad's arms to give Megan a hug. I ruffle his hair. Well done, buddy. I kiss Megan's hair. You too, honey. Do you want to help me find the pirate book? George asks. Okay. And with that, the kids run off to the library area at the back of the room. And we get to live another day, Ellis says with a chuckle. I smile and then glance at Fletcher, staring at me with a look I can't read. We follow Ellis as he returns to the front of the classroom, leaving the kids playing alone for a few minutes. By the way, Ellis says, I don't suppose you two want to lead the spring fair organizing team this year. I want to say you have a choice, but it's you or a bunch of women I had the displeasure of meeting recently. His face is nothing if not pleading. I have no idea what he's talking about, but Fletcher's wide smile scares me. A lot. We'll do it, he says without breaking eye contact. You do know the meaning of consent, right? I ask. Come on, Cupcake, it'll be fun. I let out a long sigh, which Fletcher seems to take as acceptance.